So we're going to start off hearing from three people who've had very different experiences with amyloidosis, AL and TTR. And first of all, I would like to introduce Katherine Timpf.
Hello, my name is Katherine Timpf. I'm not a patient myself, but I lost my mom to cardiac amyloidosis a year ago as of November 5th. She was 57 years old. She was a social worker, a wonderful person, helped a lot of kids. I know I'm not the only person that misses her every day. And I've heard of a lot of stories that are similar to hers. It all started in March of last year. She just had some shortness of breath. Went to the internist and they said, you have asthma. So she was diagnosed with asthma, she was put on an inhaler, but then things were not getting better. In June, they discovered that she had some fluid in her lungs and her liver was swollen, and we were all concerned that she had cancer. She'd also been a cancer survivor from when I was in college, but that was totally unrelated. She didn't have cancer, and we found out that she didn't have cancer in July. We were elated, and I remember getting a message from her saying it was a miracle. We were so excited because I guess they just figured if there's no cancer, they didn't really think about anything else, even though they had found signs of an invasive disease. So there was something that looked like attacking the organs. But still, because of the shortness of breath, the swelling of the ankles, and all of those things are common in a lot of conditions, they just assumed it was AFib, put her on heart medication, and it helped the symptoms a little bit until about August and September. She got so bad she couldn't walk up the stairs. We didn't know what was going on. September of last year was the first time we ever heard a phrase cardiac amyloidosis. She was finally diagnosed in October, and we went to Brigham and Women's in Boston for treatment. I live in New York, so I was living like half New York and half in the hospital. And they did have treatments to help, and they did have chemo, but it was already too late. She was already 2 weeks, so she passed away about only 3 weeks after being diagnosed. So it was a nightmare, and it still is kind of a nightmare. And something that I learned from this, and I'm gonna give the next person a turn, is it's a lot of times the diseases that really need awareness the most. It's kind of hard to create those kinds of efforts because not enough people seem to know about it to even start something like that. So I'm really glad to see everybody here today, and thank you all for listening.